Hi, my name's John. I made a short video here for you to show you how to build acoustic panels for way less than you can buy them for. And they actually turn out pretty nice and work, I would say, better than the ones that you can buy for less than $150 each. I made 12 of these for about $200 in material, so huge savings over just buying them. Each of my acoustic panels are 2-foot by 4-foot panels, and that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do. First of all, I got a couple of sheets to make the 12 panels that I made. I bought 2 4-foot by 8-foot sheets of 1/2-inch MDF, so you can get about 6 panels out of each 4-foot by 8-foot sheet. When you do that, don't forget that those sheets are actually not 4-foot by 8-foot. They're actually 49 inches wide. So make sure that you're adjusting accordingly for that. The MDF I cut into strips to make the frames, and I've got another part to show you how to do that. I used number 6 wood screws, 1 inch long each, with using a number 6 countersinking drill bit to make the holes for those, and wood glue along with those screws too. The insulation that I actually used to make, to do the acoustic part of this is a Roxul, R-O-X-U-L insulation. It's 3 inches thick. It's called Safe and Sound. It has the same acoustic properties as the Owens Corning 703. It is much cheaper and much easier to work with. The downside of using those the fiberglass insulation for this project is that it's terrible to cut, and it's pretty unpleasant to work with. And then when you're making these panels, you actually have to cover the back of them too if you're using fiberglass, so that you don't get fiberglass in the air when you're watching movies in this case, or if you're making a studio or trying to set something up behind a drum set or whatever. As far as fabric to cover them, you have to make sure it's acoustically transparent fabric. You can test that out by, as you're shopping around for fabric, you can hold it up, blow through it with your hand on the other side. If you can pretty easily blow through it and you feel that air moving through, it's probably acoustically transparent. The 2 fabrics that are recommended a lot are burlap, which I'm not really a big fan of because it's pretty flammable, and you're going to want to get a fire retardant spray and spray that down if you get a burlap. And if you've got hot lights on it or something, even if you have a muslin, M-U-S-L-I-N, a muslin like this, you're still going to want to get some fire retardant spray on there if there's any risk factor in there. I decided to use muslin. I actually got it from, oddly enough, a website called muslinscheap.com. If you just want like a blank black or white fabric, it's pretty easy to get, but I wanted to, and I'll show you a little bit closer, I wanted to get a fabric that had a little pattern to it because it is in a movie theater and not just like a recording studio or behind a drum set or something. So I got something with a little bit of a pattern to it. And so I went on that muslinscheap.com, and I just bought a big photography backdrop that was made out of muslin. Still a really nice thin muslin, still plenty acoustically transparent. And I just bought a big 10-foot by 20-foot sheet of it. It was, I think it was like $60 or $70. Not too bad. It worked out to be like $6 per yard. If you are buying by the yard, make sure that you're getting something that's 60 inches wide, which is 5 feet wide, because for each 2-foot by 4-foot panel, you're going to want to have a solid 3 feet by 5 feet of fabric to be able to wrap all the way around that. And then as far as hanging it up, you want to get hanging hardware. I used little eye screws, so just little round screws with the round hole in there. You put them in, put one in each side, and then put ran wire between them. And there's another part of the video to show you that. And then you want to keep them off the wall a little bit. You don't want them sitting straight on the wall, first of all, so they don't rattle, but second of all, if you have them a little bit off the wall, then as the sound carries through them, it dampens on the way in and then on the way back too, and it works a little bit better if you have a little bit of space between them and the wall. So I got just 1/4 inch rubber feet, like furniture feet, just to space them out a little bit. And then you'll need a staple gun. for the fabric, for stapling the fabric around there, stretching it around. If you need help on stretching the fabric, just do a search for like canvas stretching or something like that. It's all the same techniques that you would use to stretch canvas for a painting. And then I'll show you how I set this up in here. Basically, I just chose 2 walls. I did 2 adjacent walls and covered a whole lot of them, and then didn't cover, and forgive me here, this theater isn't finished here, so there's nothing hung in the front. But so I've just got basically 2 walls. Your whole idea for putting up acoustic panels is not to overdo it and make your room completely dead, but to eliminate the possibility of any standing waves. So you want to eliminate any echo that you could have. Alright, so to make it easier to run a bunch of 3.5-inch strips out of this 1/2-inch MDF, like this, I've made a jig to make my cutting a little faster, where I just basically put together some 2x4s that are lined up right so that my saw goes right along them and cuts 3.5 inches every time. That way you don't have to measure anymore, and you can just rip through it pretty fast. There you go. There you go. You just throw it on there for your next one, and you got 3-inch strips. I'm cutting 2 boards at a time. Alright, so I wanted to do a quick video on assembly here, and I'm just going to show you real quick what I think is kind of one of the more difficult parts, is getting that corner piece in the right spot. I have already held this up, pre-drilled it, and put a screw in just so I can feel the bottom of it so I can line it up easily when I put that corner piece in. The way that I figured to do this that seems to be the easiest is get 1 screw in, and glue it, and then drill the other 3 and put those in. So I've got my 1 screw already started, waiting for me to get this glue on here. Put that piece in the corner. Finish driving the screw down. Nice and tight. Line the rest of it up, and then drill for the other 3. And you want to countersink just a little bit. Don't countersink that too deep, or else it's not going to be grabbing much on the top piece. Alright, so we've already got our glue in, we've got our first screw in. We're just going to do these last 3 screws. And since I've got the top screw in, I'm going to go to the other side to suck this piece in. Close up any gaps, and you should see a little bit of glue squeeze out the side. If you don't see any glue squeeze out, you might not be using enough. If a ton of it squeezes out, drips all over, you're using too much. There you go. That corner piece is in. And so what I'm going to do is flip it over and do the opposite corner then next.